No, but Vikram, tell me, I mean, when it comes to literature, we now have, at last count, I was discussing this with Danita, almost 60 literary festivals, I'm told, including one in Patna and 2 in Chandigarh. And you are largely responsible for this, to an extent.
Please, sir, I didn't do it. No, I mean,
No, but,
seriously, no.
But do you find that at least in the sphere of literature, that the kind of recognition that we have managed to achieve over the past decade or so has not necessarily just been of those who have had to leave the country? I mean, though Golden Gate was written in San Francisco, but now you have enough writers producing work here and outside of it?
Well, you know, Patna is a city that's very dear to me. And in fact, Brahmpur, I lived in Patna between the ages of 6 and 16. In fact, Patna is the hub of the universe. Since the friends that our family made here, and my mother's in the audience and as well, she, you know, the friends that you made there basically lasted our family 30 years. We do make new friends, but somehow Patna is it. Now, Patna was the basis of Brahmpur in some sense, but other cities like Allahabad, Banaras, Agra, Purani Delhi took some kind of role as well. But if you look at the Sabzipur Club on the Ganga, it's really the Bankipur Club. That's a little side remark. As far as the question, and I must tell everyone that I was kidnapped yesterday and told I would sit on this panel, so I haven't had time to think anything through, let alone questions of soft power. But as far as the basic question of Indians claiming Indian scientists, Indian artists, and so on, I agree with everyone here that we are happy to be claimed as long as it isn't a constraint. But we are not happy to be disclaimed, like M F Husain was.
Yes.
That is something that we do. We are quite happy to claim the successful, but if they do anything to offend someone, we do not afford them the protections that they need. He was not able to rest his dying head in his own homeland. We should hang our heads in shame.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to come to that later about whether the political environment of producing art and creativity in India is one of the reasons which limits. Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to continue with a couple of points that you asked me or that came up. And I do hope we continue with that subject as well. But to the point, so to speak, the question about laying your Indianness on thick. Now, like Anish, I agree that in the first few years after independence, partly because of a natural lack of confidence, because all the models that you had, because you see a kind of involuntary, not abasement exactly, but a sort of over-adulation of other people, and the reaction to it, which is you want to show, you know, that there's something in our tradition, going back and interpreted now, you may have wanted to concentrate on those aspects. They have a universality. There's no question about that. But there's also the danger that you could be seen. Am I still on?
Yeah.
Okay. There is a danger that you could be seen to overemphasize something for reasons that do not emerge from the inspiration of the art itself. Now, something like a festival is a public event. Something like this is a public event. Something like Amazon and discussions of your book or book groups up. But eventually, art is, I'm not necessarily talking about performance arts, but the reading, displaying arts are things that are so private. They're written by a person, he or she is in a room. It's read by a person, he or she says, look, hey, wait, keep dinner for me, I'm reading. That is what really matters. If you're claimed by people who feel that your art amuses them, moves them, makes you think, that to me is where the essence of art is. And it seems to me, as a kind of corollary of that, that your art must be true and believed by the people about whom you are writing and whose lives you're trying to explain. It's no good. My book on, say, 1980 San Francisco
Yes.
was praised in England or India or even on the East Coast if it was not believed by the people who live in that city.
Right.
It's no good writing A Suitable Boy and getting plaudits anywhere as long as it isn't believed by people who've lived in 50s India.
Right.
No point writing a book about a string quartet if a musician says, hey, but you're playing on the wrong string. It has to be simultaneously born of the place, essential to the place, and strangely enough, indirectly,
Right.
if it has any merit at all, it becomes universal.
Okay.
Not because you're striving for it.